review of the reviews for the last Star Wars movie. The Rise of Skywalker. I hate saying the title. There will be no spoilers for these reviews because I don't care enough to look them up and read them. And you know what? You go to the real news YouTubers for that shit. That's where I just was, and they're good for that. A lot of the fandom menace, I consider them almost to be shills in their own way. Shills for the fandom menace, because they make the same video twice a day. They've said it a million times, the exact same thing. I have a lot of bitterness towards Star Wars. I also take a lot of pleasure in seeing them get destroyed. And the same is true with the fandom menace. I'm bitter and jealous that they make more money than I do, that most of them do, and get more views than I do. But I'm also happy to hear them tell the truth about this turd of a whatever you want to call this thing. There hasn't been a turd like this in all of history. This sequel trilogy, so-called. And as far as my jealousy and bitterness at YouTubers who get more views than me, it's like, well, then I should just be jealous and bitter at Beyonce because she gets a lot more subscribers than they do. And she doesn't deserve a penny she makes. I remember 10 years ago, I wrote a play that got rejected from a stupid festival. And I got really mad at first. And then I was like, you know what, though? I'd rather have a great play that got rejected than a shit play that got accepted. So at the end of the day, I win. And then I felt better after I used that type of logic. So the thing is that these reviews are just justifying and reinforcing everything that I have thought since day one about this stupid sequel trilogy. I thought of this years before day one. I realized this the day they bought, not the day that they bought Star Wars, not the day that Disney bought Star Wars. The day that they announced that this new sequel trilogy would not be about the original characters. It would be about the new characters. And the reason for this is not because there's anything wrong with having new characters, but to so blatantly say something like that is to show a huge amount of obtuseness, a lack of understanding of the property you just bought. You don't put it forward like that. You don't publicize it by saying, Han Solo, Luke, and Leia are going to be very minor. No, you say we're going to pass the baton subtly, gracefully. A good analogy might be if for Avengers Endgame they had said, Endgame is not going to be about the original Marvel heroes. It's going to be about Captain Marvel and Black Panther and Ant-Man and who else? I don't know. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It would have provoked the same reaction, and it would have been a failure. The exact inverse or opposite is what they should have done with this sequel trilogy. They should have had it be starring Han, Luke, and Leia. And have Rey, Finn, and Poe be the very small subplot that got bigger throughout, and then finally the franchise can continue with them. That would have been the way to do it. So it's funny, the early reviews are exactly what everybody, and with half a brain, has been saying since The Last Jedi came out. It's like way too many stories going on. It's rushed. It feels like 3 movies in one. Of course it does, because that's what it has to do now, because they were jerking off in the corner and picking their nose for the first 2 movies, and now they got to do everything in one. And another analogy that I keep using, which I think is very apt, is like if somebody came to your party and took a shit, in the middle of the room, and then you're like, oh my god, what an asshole, I'm never talking to him again. And then he calls the next day, and you're like, alright, I'm going to hear him out just for the sake of it. It's not like there's anything he's going to be able to say that's going to make up for this, but I'll hear him out just out of curiosity. That's exactly what The Rise of Skywalker feels like. And that's exactly the kind of chance it had. There was no way they were going to be able to repair anything. And the weird thing is that a lot of the shill media, what are their names? I forget their names. The ones that always Screen Collider, the ones that always gave good reviews to The Last Jedi, they're saying they didn't like this movie. IMDb is actually posting bad word of mouth about this movie, and I never seen it. IMDb post anything negative about the Disney Star Wars, and I think I know why they're finally coming out of the closet. It's because they know they don't have to cover up for it anymore. They know, like, okay, this is the end of it, and I think they feel free now, and now. The actors and everybody's going to come out and say how ridiculous this whole sequel trilogy was, in particular The Last Jedi. Oh, apparently The Rise of Skywalker, The Rise of Jedi. Apparently this one actually makes a lot of inside jokes, subtle, passive-aggressive jokes about The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. So that's smart. You would have to do that. You need to, that's fan service. Show them that Rian Johnson's a buffoon. They should have done what I always suggested. They should have Kathleen the Hutt, CGI her, like Jabba the Hutt, and have Rian Johnson be Salacious Crumb, giggling at everything she says. Everybody would just love that. I would love the movie just for that. That's what you have to do. And also, go all the way with your stupidity and have Admiral Holdo be the real Jedi. She's like the savior, and have Rose Tico come back as a Force ghost because she was the one who trained Yoda. You've passed the point of no return, right? You might as well keep going. This isn't the end of the Skywalker saga. This is the end of the Disney Skywalker taunting and insulting and bullying the fans saga. That's what this is the end of. It feels like it's been a long time coming. The fandom menace is just rejoicing. This is their New Year's. Tomorrow, that's when this stupid movie comes out. And it's just like a big sigh of relief. It's still going to be painful. I'm still very upset about this whole thing. But like I said I've said all of this in previous videos, but I think it's going to get better after this. I mean, in terms of the feeling of being raped, I think the trauma is going to start going away. One of the spoiler reviews said that, earlier reviews, I don't know if I've been saying spoiler, I mean earlier reviews of this stupid movie I think they've indicated that seeing Palpatine was weird. And I can see how that would be weird. Having Palpatine say stupid J.J. Abrams lines that just connect the plot of the 9 movies but are not in character and make no sense otherwise. Yeah, that would be, and it's probably very cringeworthy. Or seeing Rey and fucking Kylo Ren make out. Yeah, that would be really hard to watch. I don't want to watch that. In fact, I think the last Disney Star Wars thing I'll ever watch was The Last Jedi. Because that's where I saw exactly where they were at. And I'll never go through it again. I didn't watch all of Solo. I just fast forwarded it. I tried to watch it, but I was like, screw this. And then I just went to the Darth Maul part at the end. I kind of just went through different scenes, but I probably spent a total of 5 minutes watching that movie. The Mandalorian, I watched 3 episodes. I was kind of playing solitaire or something at the same time. I'm not going to bother with the rest of that. I probably won't watch this thing. I'm going to watch this the way I watched Solo, where I just skip to the Luke parts or the Palpatine parts. I won't even watch the Leia parts. I've never been a fan of Leia particularly. I'm take her or leave her. I don't think she's particularly interesting in the new trilogy. She looks bloated. She looks old. I don't know. She looks like she's on drugs or something. Although that's not really fair to say, because I think Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams wrote her as if she were on drugs. They didn't give her exactly anything to do, right? They just had her say, you're... I don't even remember one line that she ever said. Oh, I did my hair. I think another reviewer said that it feels like an apology for The Last Jedi. And how could it not? I mean, again, it's another analogy. It's like somebody farted, and then they hoped that nobody would smell it, and so that was what The Last Jedi was. And then Rise of Skywalker is them trying to leave the room and pretend that nothing happened. They're not trying to make this movie be a blockbuster or an Avengers Endgame. They knew, I think from day one, it would not be that. I think they just want to try to leave gracefully. And of course, they won't be able to because everybody smelled the fart that was The Last Jedi. So they can't try to have class. They can't try. They can't try to save face here. And as anybody with half a brain could have predicted, J.J. Abrams' entire strategy was to throw everything at this movie, have 2 million Star Destroyers, have everything amplified because that's all you can really do, and just hope that there'll be enough action that you'll forget that there's no story or that the story has holes. And I don't have patience for that. If I wanted that, I'd go see a Michael Bay movie. He does that better. Yeah, watching this movie fail and become a mockery is going to give a lot of people, including me, especially me maybe, the sort of feeling of justice that people felt when they found out that Bill Cosby was going to have to pay for his crimes. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy, they should all be put in jail. I think making bad art is one of the worst crimes a human can make. And I've got ways of, I can actually elaborate on that. I can argue that pretty convincingly and logically. So I don't really have anything to say. I don't even really want to comment on this stupid piece of shit. I don't want to smell this toilet that doesn't work anymore and somebody took a shit. I don't want to smell this shit. It's depressing. I'm just trying to wait it out. What a bad Christmas present. But in a way, what a good Christmas present, because it's all going to be over. So it's mixed feelings, and I just want to digest all this shit. Seeing my childhood come to an end is a great thing, because they can't do it anymore. They won't be able to destroy Luke again. So it feels great. And now they've got to move on with this empty Star Wars thing that nobody cares about. And maybe I'll download maybe I'll play, I already have it, Knights of the Old Republic. Maybe I'll play that again. And what's weird? Apparently, Rey has ignites a yellow lightsaber at the end of this. And I remember in Knights of the Old Republic, the female character, I think her name was Bastila, she had a double-bladed yellow lightsaber. And she looked like Rey. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. They should have just made her Bastila. Come to think of it, since they are trying to pay fan service, they're trying to kiss the fans' asses so this movie will make money. They should have brought Darth Maul in too. I mean, why not? You showed him in Solo. That would have been cool. I mean, that would have been one reason to watch it. I mean, the only reason to watch it. There's two reasons to watch this movie: Luke and Darth Sidious, and I'll only watch those parts. But if you brought Darth Maul in, there would be 3 reasons. I mean, hell, they say it feels like a fan movie. That's what another review says. But yeah, make a fan movie then. Bring General Grievous back. Bring Ewan McGregor. Make him play. Bring Liam Neeson in. Bring everybody. Who cares? I mean, at this point, you're just desperate. So, God, if only I could have made this movie. I could have saved this fucking movie. You have Rian Johnson as a Salacious Crumb. Kathleen Kennedy as Jabba the Hutt. You bring everybody back, Mace Windu, everybody from the prequels and from the originals. You kill Rey and Poe and Finn. Have them butchered by Ewoks. Have them turning on a spit. Bring back Han, and he didn't actually die. Kylo Ren was just imagining things. The Last Jedi was just a nightmare that Chewie had. Have Snoke come back in 2 halves. The bottom half walks in and the top half floats in or some shit. Have BB-8 being used as a ball for a soccer game between the Ewoks and the Wookiees. Have Jawas flying the Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters. Jawas are all doing it. Yeah, have the Sand People and the Gungans and the Genosians get in a pod race and have it last for half an hour. Oh God, the fun you could have. And then you could end it with Mickey Mouse showing up and saving the day with inviting everybody, all the Star Wars characters, to come to Disney World and check out the stupid Disney Star Wars theme park. What's it called? Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. And you could have Jar Jar and Watto on the new Jedi Council, appointed by somebody like Rey. Have Darth Sidious decide that he's a good guy. He turns to the light side. And Rey could say to Emperor Palpatine at the end, the Sith can't have lightsabers because they're on the dark side. That's not a lightsaber, that's a dark saber. And then Sidious's lightsaber goes out, and he's like, whoa. And then all the Jedis use their combined force powers to bring back everybody from the dead. Like, and on the planets, Alderaan and all those planets, they all come back because of the force powers. So, but in reality, and this is the weird part, reality is stranger than fiction. At the end of this movie, Rey says she's a Skywalker. She just self-appoints herself, like Caesar's name was used. And it's like, that is so dispowering. What's the opposite of empowering? Unempowering. She adopts a name because her name sucks. Like, shouldn't you be powerful on your own? You got to take someone else's name. That's like me calling myself, I'm Sidious, Justin Sidious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm Ray Yoda, or I don't know. Like, talk about leaning on the past. It's like naming yourself like, oh, my name's Justin Downey Jr. because I respect him so much. You didn't even know him. She barely knew Luke. She didn't know him for like 2 days. And she thinks she's part of the family. She's going to like take on the name. Like you married him or something. He didn't even like you. And Princess Leia isn't really a Skywalker because her father was an Organa. So she can't say she knew Leia like Skywalker. Luke didn't even say anything nice to her in the whole movie. He wasn't even nice to her once, I don't think. And she thinks that she's like his adopted daughter. I mean, you know what that's like? That's like trying to hang out with the cool kid, and let's say his name is like Spike. You're trying to hang out with the cool kid, Spike, and he's always saying, fuck you, get out of here, you're a loser, I don't like you. And then you're like, you move on in life and you go, somebody goes, what's your name? And you go, my name's Spike. It's like, he didn't like you. He hated you. And then, anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to make more videos in the next coming few days, if only to spite the rest of the fandom menace, because my shit's more interesting than theirs. And I mean, if they're going to post repetitive shit, I might as well too, because this is my moment, not theirs. I don't give a shit if I get no views. This is fucking a big deal to me, and I'm so happy and emotional, in good ways and bad ways, about this. This fucking, what do you call this? Failure. This failure of Disney. I mean, they dropped the ball. We were willing to let them play with our ball, and then they just popped it and destroyed it. And it's like, okay, well now nobody can have fun, including you. So there's the pleasure of knowing Disney, they're going to lose money, and they fucked it up for themselves. They shot themselves in the foot, in the head, and then they shot themselves in the chest. But they also shot us inadvertently, vicariously. By shooting Star Wars, they shot us. But so that's why there's joy and sadness. Okay, bye. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings, give me money.